Okay, today I'm going to be doing a quick test. Well, it's not going to be quick, but I'm going to be doing a test of the vehicle using the pilot system and visual positioning to do some simple navigation around this rim, which I have mapped. So I've laid out a few sticky notes, which you can see the yellow, the green X's and T's are actually like grid lines marking out every 50 inches. But the sticky notes mark the path that I want this vehicle to take. So I'm going to start it up and start the pilot. So I will power on the LiDAR and the motors and stuff. There we go. So it looks like I've started it near the X-axis. So this car is the mech car. These are old sessions. And if I look, it currently has no tasks. So I'm going to give it a few. And as I give it these, it should wake up and start doing them. So there's the path it should want to take. And yeah, it should start doing that any minute. You know what? I realized I forgot to start the flags up. Okay, so I have stopped the test because the positioning clearly needs some tuning. You can tell on the map that was recorded, I don't know if you can see it. Well, it got confused when I was up in here somewhere. It got confused and thought it was over here. It did get this position over here fairly close on the first try, but it got its heading quite wrong. It thought it was at 241 degrees, which it should never be facing that direction because the scale goes from 0 to 180 and 0 to negative 180. So I've got to tune that a little bit. Okay, so now since the positioning clearly had some issues, I'm going to try to recreate that using this observer device. So I'll kind of walk it around to some of the same areas where the car got the location completely wrong. And I'll get some better images and logging and stuff to be able to analyze. So I'm going to go ahead and start the pilot. And really, in reality, I would have it starting itself, but since I'm still doing testing and stuff, I start it manually. The Nano should connect to the Arduino here shortly. Maybe. It takes a while the first time I run this after a reboot for the TensorFlow libraries to load. So I think that's the delay here. Should for a minute, yeah, autonomous. Okay, so it's just repeating that it's in autonomous mode. And if I looked at the display here on the back, it should say the same. Okay, so right now this thing is doing nothing but waiting for some commands that I will give it through the app here. I'm going to disconnect the HDMI cable so I can start walking this around. Some power. Okay, so I'm going to kind of move it actually, and it's at a different height, so it's going to have a different view than what the car had, obviously. So it's not doing anything yet, so I'm going to choose this one, observer in the app here, and assign it a task of log its coordinates. Okay, it should pick up on that pretty quick. The cameras will rotate as they need to until they've seen at least, they try to see at least 3, but it will go ahead and try to do a positioning even if it only can see 2 landmarks. And it looks like it hasn't seen enough yet. So if I were to guess, I think it saw the cat tree thing over there, and the north light, the vertical 3 lights, but it wants an extra one, so it's just searching. Okay, so it actually has logged in the app what position it thought it was at, which is the one I just mentioned, which again was not right. Okay, so in here you can see there's the view it had of that triangle over there, so it did not pick up that as a landmark at all, so that was useless. There's another useless image. So I'm looking here at some of the images that were taken during that run through, and I think a problem is how high the device is off the ground, because I've got the lights and everything. The non-lights are sitting on the ground, so they are completely invisible basically to the cameras. The lights that I have on the wall are kind of lower because I thought a car is going to be looking for them. So here's that triangle light completely missed because it couldn't see the bottom light. That's nothing. And whenever you see these dotted lines here, that's the LiDAR. That shows at least where it's hitting, so sometimes that's helpful. Now here, I've seen this on a couple of these images where it misidentifies this right angle here, I guess because it's got a top with a sort of what looks like a trunk, so it thinks that's the cat tree. That is definitely going to throw off the calculations, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that at this point, but there are some options. It could be that fixing the altitude of the cameras to be more like the on-the-ground vehicles will take care of that. I'm not sure. Now this is kind of interesting. It spotted the little pineapple down there. Said that was pretty good. Here it identified the triangle light just perfectly. I'm not sure about the distance. I'll have to look back at that. Nothing. And this is all good except for that tree thing again. So I think this would have been a good measurement if it wasn't for this one misidentification, because this tree is actually on the opposite side of the room. So that is really going to mess things up. Yeah, so I will look at that. And nothing. That's a good one right there. It spotted that. Got the bounding boxes just perfectly. I'm not sure about the distance again, but the rest of that looks good. I think my main issues here are misidentification and of basically this tree is really the only thing I see it misidentifying, and the height of the vehicle. So I've got another thing coming in from Amazon today, which will let me get rid of this big music stand looking thing. So I'll be able to, it's basically a furniture dolly type thing, so this observer will be almost sitting on the ground. So I will rerun through some of that stuff and hopefully have better results just from that. And then if not, I may play with the algorithm, or I may play with the map. We'll see.